Hello Uplanders, I'm YK2012, founder of the Upland Guide, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about cars. Cars in Upland are something that haven't been talked about a lot. In December of 2021, there was an Ask Me Anything with Idun Zuckerman, who is the CEO of Upland, and he talked a little bit about cars and what we can expect. Since then, I've done some searching around on the internet, and I have found some really interesting things that I want to share with you in this video. Upland has a partnership with a company called Cryptomotors, and you can see their website over here. And Cryptomotors is the company that will be designing and building the cars within Upland. I'm here on their About page, and we can read here that they want to rethink the way we create and enjoy cars. Cryptomotors is revolutionizing the way vehicles are made by giving professional designers and enthusiasts from all around the world the opportunity of taking part in the amazing journey of building a car. Here's how the first decentralized digital automaker powered by the Ethereum blockchain works. So you can take a look at their white paper here to see what they're doing, and they are designing some really cool things outside of Upland. It's still unclear what they are going to bring into Upland, but I'm going to show you in this video some of the things that they're doing and how I think it will transfer into Upland. It's important to note that anything you purchase through Cryptomotors which is not native to Upland will not be relevant to Upland. So we have to wait until cars become an existing feature within Upland in order to purchase them. You can still buy these Cryptomotor vehicles, but it has nothing to do with Upland. Here we can see on their market that there are different types of cars that are designed. You can take a look at their website and see a lot of really cool things here. These are just some of the options that you can purchase. I want to show you what this car is able to do. So every car has its own statistics, where you can see here that the speed, acceleration, grip, braking, and handling will vary between the different types of cars that you have. It would make sense that a sports car would obviously be able to go faster and have better acceleration than some of these other models, like a sedan. And we can see here what its parameters are. Now, this graphic, which is not a high-resolution graphic, this was actually taken as a screenshot from a YouTube video where these cars were introduced. But these are the 6 different models of cars that will exist in Upland. So you have your semi-trailer, a van, an SUV, a sports car, a sedan, and a pickup truck. So these are the 6 different types of vehicles that will exist within Upland, and they will all be designed by Cryptomotors. Now, one of the interesting things within Upland, I believe that each car within Upland will work according to the model that I just showed you here, where not only between the different cars are there different statistics, but even within each car, each one can be different. I'm not sure if that's the case, but it is something that could possibly happen. So if I were to have a sports car and my neighbor were also to have a sports car, it's possible that those cars are not exactly the same in terms of the stats of the car. Something else that is extremely interesting is that you are going to need a driver to drive the car. The car will not be able to drive itself. And the drivers of the car will actually be your block explorers. Before I explain a little bit more about the block explorers, once you have a car and you have a block explorer who can drive the car, you will be able to do car racing with it. And I was doing a little searching on Twitter, and I recently came across this tweet by Cryptomotors. So here they are writing that the Cryptomotors 3D game alpha is finally out. Players who are part of the Cryptomotors community are able to download this game and start testing it. So I'm just going to go ahead and play this video for you, and you can see what this is all about. Now, I have no idea if this is going to be the exact game that we can expect to see within Upland regarding car racing, but I think you can definitely agree with me that this is awesome. Hopefully in the future, when AR and VR are also introduced into Upland, this can be something that is very exciting. With regards to the graphics and the racetrack, it's not entirely clear what will happen within Upland, but one thing that was hinted at by the CEO during the Ask Me Anything was that within Upland, since it is mapped over the real world, essentially any street or any route that you can define can potentially be a racetrack. I hope you're familiar with the application Waze, where it can help you drive any route from A to B, and I'm assuming that this will be very similar to that. You would probably be able to define some sort of a route within Upland that you would define a racetrack, and people could race around your neighborhood. If you have, let's say, a node or a specific community that you have built up in a neighborhood with a lot of other people, you could create your own racetrack and race each other in your own neighborhood. Now, we also know that with Google Street View, you can take a look at the street as you're driving. So maybe that would be something that could be implemented in AR or VR down the line in the future, where you could put on a headset and race your car around the streets and actually see the actual streets through the Google View. So that's something that, looking down the line, would be really awesome. That's just something that I'm thinking of. But even if it's just a simple racing game to begin with, this is also something that's very exciting. Because, as I said earlier in the video, you can have different cars with different attributes, and also different block explorers who are the drivers who also have different attributes. Maybe you have a block explorer who is good at training other block explorers, and the more you practice driving, the better your driver can get at steering and reaction time and braking and those types of things. So as Upland is a play-to-earn game, there are lots of opportunities for players to really hone their skills at driving and racing some of these cars, just like some players spend a lot of time treasure hunting in Upland, where they're able to find UpX and even Spark. It's probable that players will be able to race cars, and they will also improve their skills and become experts, and they can compete in races within Upland against other players, and you can also earn probably UpX and maybe some other tokens in this racing as well. So this is something that's very exciting to think of as something that can come into this metaverse. It's not clear when cars are coming in or how it's going to be implemented, but this is absolutely one thing that they have on their roadmap, which is car racing. Another exciting change that we can expect at some point within Upland regarding movement is being able to send. So if I want to send myself right now, whether it be to my property or any property, I can do that pretty much instantaneously. Just by clicking the send button, you can see that my block explorer is now going to travel all the way across the city to that property. Once cars come into play, and the cars will be able to travel along the actual streets, they will be traveling at a real-time rate. So you won't be able to jump from one end of the city to the other instantaneously like I just did. You would have to take your car and drive there. If you don't have a car, you might have to take an Uber. Maybe your neighbor has a car and he can drive you places. So it's unclear how that's going to play out, but that is another feature that is going to change at some point in time, and cars will be an excellent way for players to get around. Not only will your car be able to get you around, but just like in the real world, there's no such thing as an unlimited tank of gas. So also in Upland, you won't be able to drive for an unlimited period of time. At some point in time, your car will run out of the energy required to power it, and you will have to either fill up your tank or charge your car, and that is actually going to be done using Spark. Let's say you're out driving your car around treasure hunting during the day, and at night you have to drive it back to your house in order to park it in the driveway, and then you would also need to stake spark on that car in order to fill up its quote-unquote virtual tank of gas. So spark is an extremely important resource in Upland, and this is another way where spark is being used and understanding its importance of it. In order to create cars as well, you will need spark. Spark is required in order to build cars, just like you need spark in order to build a house and outdoor decor. Anything that is not living and is an inanimate object will require spark in order to produce or build it. Here is another case where spark is showing its importance as a resource. If you don't have any spark, or you have a very small amount right now, Upland has said they are also looking at other ways in order to get players spark. Right now you can get spark through treasure hunting, or by purchasing it when it's on sale during Spark Week, or by leveling up during Spark Week as well. Now, if you don't know much about Spark, take a look at the link in the upper right hand corner. There's a video which explains everything you need to know about how Spark actually works. Upland has said in the future that you will also be able to get Spark by logging in and being an active player. So it isn't really clear what they mean by that, but I'm guessing it's something along the lines of, if you log in every day for 2 weeks, you might get X amount of spark. They are trying to get the players engaged in the game and logging in on a regular basis in order to participate in the economy and the events that they will have in Upland. And one of the ways that they can reward people is to give them spark. Now, this spark will obviously help them power their car. If they're going to be active in the metaverse and driving around lots of places, they're going to need that spark. So this is one way that they're thinking of rewarding players who are active users and active participants in the metaverse. Another use case for cars within Upland is if I wanted to purchase something from a store. These orange dots are stores within Upland. So if I wanted to purchase a new Block Explorer in order to drive my new car that I just bought, then I would need to travel to one of these stores in order to buy it. But let's say I don't actually want to leave Los Angeles. Maybe in the future I might be able to employ someone to go travel to the store in Fresno, purchase the Block Explorer that I want, drive it to my home in Los Angeles, and I would be able to pay him for that service. So this is another way where players can use different types of cars, maybe the semi-trailers or pickup trucks, in order to transport goods from one place to another. I mentioned that the Block Explorers will be the drivers of the car, and this is one of the Block Explorers that I own. You can see here how many there are of this specific Block Explorer, if they were part of a specific series, when it was minted, and a little description about the Block Explorer itself. So one thing that is not here yet is any of these utility features regarding the driver of the car. There might be drivers who are better at drag racing, or drivers who are better off at off-road racing. So there will be different types of racing, and a different combination of cars and drivers can make it extremely interesting when players are competing against each other during car races. Some of these Block Explorers are already being sold for hundreds if not thousands of dollars. Players who are heavily invested in the car racing aspect of Upland as a play-to-earn game might find it useful to go and buy some of these high-profile Block Explorers, which can be on the market for hundreds if not thousands of dollars, in order to ensure that they have the best combination of driver and car in order to give them the best opportunity to win some of these races, and therefore win most likely UpX, maybe Spark, or maybe something else through these car races. I haven't been provided with any inside information as to how this will actually play out and how car races or cars will work in Upland. This is based on some of the hints that have been provided in previous YouTube videos by the founders of Upland, and as well there are other blockchain games out there, one of which is Zrun, if anyone is familiar with that, which is essentially horse racing, where you can purchase horses and groom horses and breed horses, and the horses are able to compete in horse races where you can also earn cryptocurrencies. So I think that what Upland is going to be doing with car races is going to be something that's very similar to the model that exists in this other game, Zrun. Only time will tell how much of this video and what I've been saying here will be correct, but I think that we can expect to see cars sometime in 2022, and it will be interesting to come back to this video and see how much of this is actually correct. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you guys think something else might happen regarding cars? Please don't forget to like this video and also subscribe to our channel.